So the match finishes Forest 0, Fulham 1. And what the hell was that game? Let's get into the match reaction and player ratings. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to the player ratings for Forest 0, Fulham 1. And I just know Forest are just gonna do Forest things. It's just so annoying, man. It's just another scar to add to the many scars. I said this game was important for the momentum for Forest to kick on. And now Chelsea next after this away from home. They're absolutely so. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But I'm just not happy with a lot of things today. From the setup to the players' performance to the lackluster passing to the lack of any energy to anything like that. I think everything about this game was wrong from start to finish. We're going to get into it, but as always, please don't forget to just quickly hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new, and get your player ratings in. I'll be intrigued to see who you actually thought had a good game today, because I don't think there were many options at all for even candidates of man of the match. So let's start from the beginning and the setup. Like I said before the game, when I looked at it, my gut said, I don't get it. Why are we going 4-4-2? And it panned out in the game that there was just too much space in between the lines. I thought Taiwo was actually probably the best player of the first half. And the only reason I can think he came off was because he only had 45 minutes in his legs. But that makes you think, well, what was the point in using him in the first half? Maybe save him for the second half. Because, no offense, Jessica, Chris Wood was a ghost today. We don't have movement. This is the thing. There's no movement. There's no spells of possession. There's no patterns of play at all. Our passes are always high up in the air. Sells still kicking it long. Murillo going for those long balls in the channel. There's just... Fulham, you can see their patterns of play, their identity, the way they're passing through the lines. They always seem to have 2-3 players open to accept a pass. Then they move the ball, they're first to the second ball. And we were just like nowhere to be seen on that pitch. And having said all that, Fulham didn't create chances. Now, is that because the mentality of Forest today was really negative? And let's call it as it is. It was negative, you know, or was it because Fulham haven't got that much creativity? This is a team that drew with bloody Leicester, you know, so it's not out of the realms of possibility that we should expect to win, or at least a point out of it. I just think, if I'm being objectively honest, Nuno got it wrong. Formation, wrong. And, you know, that's not just speaking with hindsight. Well, we have to speak with hindsight, I guess. Why go 2 up front in a 4-4-2 formation that people haven't seen since the 90s? It just didn't make sense to me. And then I thought, my boy Aina, I don't think he had a good game today. He looked spent after about 75 minutes, to be honest. But where was the passing? Where's the professionalism in the player? How can we not make one pass into another? We never seem to have prolonged periods where we can dictate the pace of play. Now, Morgan Gibbs-White was obviously missing. And I think, not did we just miss him? I think it's that position we missed. Someone who was looking to play in between the lines rather than this flat 4-4-2 where there was space. No one was going into the pockets. Stuart, with yet another £10. Stuart, you're way too generous, buddy. Thank you so much for that. I can't pick out, if I'm being honest with you, anyone who played well outside of Milenkovic and Taiwo. I've got to say Taiwo was okay. And look, this isn't an overreaction. I'm reacting to this game. But I said before the game, this is a worrying game against Fulham. This would semi-define where we were going into the next phase of Forest season. So, look, the streak is done, so we can stop talking about that. In a way, I'm relieved. Well, not really relieved, but you get what I mean. That's done. Let's stop talking about the undefeated streak. And could you argue that maybe this team was designed not to lose rather than to win the game? And has this stupid streak been playing on Nuno's mind and the players' mind? Because it felt like we were the away team. That's the best way I can describe this. It felt like Fulham were the home team with, with the desire to get forward, and we were playing like we were the away team. That for me is how it felt. But I will say the penalty was very silly. You cannot take 5 minutes to decide whether or not it's a penalty. And then when you send the ref to the monitor, show him like 400 different images and give him 3 minutes to decide. If they couldn't come to a conclusion after 30 seconds, they should have moved on with it. And they didn't. They took ages. And then how we didn't get a penalty in the first half. Taiwo was pulled, and then in the same sequence, Anderson was pushed, nothing. And then Elanga gets fouled in the box in the second half. His legs are swept, man. There's no contact with the ball, and that's not given. So how can the threshold be lower when it's in our box and raised through the roof when it's in the opponent's box? So the ref, I thought, was horrific today. Horrific. The game was so stop-start. He was blowing free kicks left, right, and center. And it's just, I didn't enjoy that game at all. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't enjoy it. It just wasn't, the standards were really poor. The standards were really poor. Got it wrong, but Fulham are a good side and we didn't get drummed. It's a loss, but we got to expect losses in the way. Yeah, but it's against a Fulham team that Nuno trounced last season at the City ground. I almost feel like our form has flipped on its head. We used to have a fortress at the City ground. Now we haven't won, and we were atrocious away from home and couldn't win. And now we're winning or drawing away from home. So it's just, it's mind baffling. It's mind baffling for me. So I just didn't enjoy it. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't enjoy it. Now, are people going to blame the reffing decision and the penalty for the loss? Probably, but I don't. I think the setup was wrong and the player's attitude was wrong and the whole style of it was wrong. Yes, the penalty, you can add it into there, but I don't think, if they hadn't given the penalty, the best we would have come away with from that game would have been a 0-0 draw. I don't remember any massive, huge chances that either Fulham or Forest created. We were almost annulling each other out, but Fulham, I've got to be honest with you guys. I've got to call it as I see it. Fulham were the better team in terms of the desire to try and win the game. And sometimes that desire is enough to get teams over the line. Whereas I feel we showed none of it. We showed none of it. Yeah, you're right, actually. Callum Hudson-Odoi's chance, I'm surprised that he missed that. Good thing I had the Leicester game on. That was pretty funny. That was funny to see. Okay, let's get into the player ratings. Make sure you guys have put your player ratings in. Please take a second to hit that like button as well if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribed. All the usual good stuff. And just a quick reminder, as you can see here on MECARREIRA, Morgan Gibbs-White, you guys have got him to 100 votes. So he is about to go live on MECARREIRA in about 58 minutes time. Or if you're watching this later on, he's probably live. And this means he will be on the stock market. And if you want to go and invest in Morgan Gibbs-White, you can. Remember, MECARREIRA is a football-style stock market where, based on players' hype and investment, they go up or down, and you guys make real money off the back of it. So I'll be investing in Morgan Gibbs-White. I do, to a certain extent, feel that we did miss him today. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but well done to everyone. And Murillo is also on the vote list now. So if you want to vote for Murillo, that's free to do, by the way. Get him to 100 so we can start investing in him as well. Scan that QR code or click on the link that's in the comments or pinned in the chat. Okay, let's get on to these ratings and let's start with Sells. I'm gonna say it now. I'm pretty much done with Sells, and it's not because I think he's rubbish. I just don't think he's the one. I don't think he's the one. He's still kicking too long. I think he could have saved the penalty. He went the right way and didn't have the reflexes to move his arm a little higher to adjust. It's time for Miguel. Now, is Miguel going to be the answer? I don't know. I can't sit here and say. No one can sit here and say, because he's only played a handful of games. But what would you have said to Murillo when he was coming in? Oh, he's only played 12 games. Let's not give him a chance. It's time to give Miguel a chance, man. I just don't think he commands the back line either. I like a keeper who's animated. I like a keeper who's got a loud voice. And that's why I think's missing from Sells. Now, did he make any howlers? Not really. He does come off his line. Well, statistically, he's one of the lowest if you saw our Sells video from the other day. But I just think it's time for change. Just for a bit more personality. That's the word I've been looking for. He doesn't have the personality I want in goal. Now, he made no mistakes, but his distribution is just long ball, and I think it dictates why we do it. Yes, we've argued, is that from Nuno or is it from Sells or whatever? But I just think it's time to change. I think it's time to change. I'm going to give him a 5. I don't think he did anything wrong, but he just doesn't command the back for me. I mean, Owen's saying his kicking's far better than Miguel's. You've only seen Miguel in, what, 2 matches? And if Miguel's kicking's bad, then he can distribute it short. I want us to start playing short instead of long every time. Miguel will scare the attackers, absolutely. I agree with that, Chuck. 5 way too generous. You can't really score him higher or lower than a 5, in my opinion, because he didn't make any mistakes. Maybe some would argue he could have saved the penalty, but I just don't know. Wolverine wants the X factor in goal, Tom Jones or something. I'd give Tom Jones a go. Why not? Something needs to change. All of preseason Newcastle, he was dodgy. He was man of the match against Newcastle. Anyway, let's see what you guys scored, Sells. 4.44. I mean, you scored him lower than I did. I mean, should we get a poll, Sells or Miguel? I don't know. I agree with you, Pat. It's literally what I said. He did nothing wrong, but he kicks too long. He doesn't have that presence at the back. He never seems to be screaming at his centre backs. I don't know. If a keeper can pass long balls like Murillo, then go long ball, LOL. But if you look at his long balls, they don't reach the destination. Every long ball, I mean, not everyone, but the majority were either flicked on by Wood to no one or batted away by Bassi, who just dominated that back line today. So that's my point here. If we're going long and we're not getting the ball, then what is the point? The tactic there is just to push the play up the pitch, but it just keeps coming back. That's my point here. But instructions are coming from Nuno. I agree, Amit. I agree. But if you got Miguel, who apparently has a weaker kick than Sells, then the instruction won't be the same. It can't be the same. It would be stupid for it to be the same. Okay, let's talk about Aina. I didn't think he had a good game today either. And I think he was shot after 70 minutes. And we'd pretty much used all the subs, I think, by that time. He's my favorite player, but I have to say, in the last 2 games, he hasn't looked very good. He got in, Iwobi got in behind him quite a few times. They were doubling up on him. He struggled for me today, and he looked absolutely knackered. I don't think he had a great performance. I'm giving him a 4 out of 10, and it pains me because I love him. Personality of the pitch. He's the guy I'd like to spend a night out with. You know what I'm saying? What a top bloke he is. But I just don't think he had a good game. And I'll be honest with you, there's not many who are going to score more than a 4 or 5 for me at the moment. Remember, 6 is like average on par, a par score. I don't think there's many on par or above par for me. We lost to a dodgy penalty. That's the truth. Pat, yes, but we lost. We lost. And you can't just isolate the penalty. Okay, we can't just blame the penalty. It wasn't like the penalty was in the last minute. The penalty, what minute was the penalty, guys? It was early on in the second half, wasn't it? So we had plenty of time to react to it. Hard done by or not, we still had time to react to it. And let's be honest, we didn't. So that's my point there. That's my point. Yes, I don't think it was a penalty. Yes, they took an age to take it. But what's your answer to what happened after the penalty? Where was the reaction? There was a reaction for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then it fell back into the pattern of Fulham just passing around our players. So that's my point. 51st minute. Thank you, Kitty. I'm giving him a 4. Let's see what you guys gave him. You gave him nearly a 5, 4.8. Players look lazy and out of sync in pressing, etc. Wake up. We don't have a press. We don't have a press. We can blame the penalty for the loss, not for the performance. You can blame both. You can blame both. Anyway, let's move on. Who's next then? Milenkovic. Now, Milenkovic for me just does what he does, and I thought he was solid, no mistakes, and he was probably one of the better players on the pitch for me. I can't think of many that played better than him. Now, are people going to start saying, oh, you got your Milenkovic goggles on? I don't really care. I'm just calling what I see. And for me, he was quite solid. Was he world-beating? No. I don't think there's a lot to discuss on him. He's a solid 6 for me. And he had a good game. So I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Leslie's saying 7 and 8. I think that's a little too high, bearing in mind the rest of the game. You guys got a 5.8 collectively, which is about a 6. So I'll agree with you guys. 6s and 7s now coming in chat. Kitty gave him an 8. Bloody hell. So, okay, we're not a mini. I don't think there's a lot to talk about Milenkovic because I think he was okay. Now, in terms of Murillo, do you punish him for the penalty is the real question. Like, it was Murillo, 1865, who gave away the penalty. I don't think it's a penalty. I would have said, yes, it's a penalty if he's looking at the player when he steps on his Achilles tendon. But he's looking at the ball for me. You're always going to get legs that clash in the box. You're always going to get legs that clash. So I think to mark him down for the penalty is a little bit harsh. I'd mark the ref down and the VAR down for the penalty. I thought he was okay outside of that. And he was strong at times. The only thing is, I don't want to see him go on a few of those old school runs. Whereas now it just seems, again, the instruction is play the ball long into the channel to Hudson-Odoi or into the striker. So I'm going to match him with Milenkovic. I'll give him a 6. I'm not going to penalize him on the penalty. I think that would be hypocritical of me to do so because I don't think it's a penalty. So I'll give him a 6 out of 10 for his performance. Seems weird how our players get tired around the 70-minute mark. I don't think it's that weird, because they're just chasing the game. Fulham were passing the ball around. And it was just, it is what it is. And let's see what you got. 4.8. You guys have marked him down for the penalty then. A little harsh. Is that a little harsh from you guys? Are you that tells me you're blaming Murillo for the loss. Is that what you guys are doing? 4.8. All right. I mean, whatever. It's your votes to make. Get your votes in if you agree or disagree. It's a live count, so it'll count through. Harsh, clumsy error. You guys argue it amongst yourselves in the chat. But I think that's harsh. I think that's harsh. All right, let's move on to Moreno. Now, I don't think he got forward enough. When I think back to Moreno's first game, I can't even remember which one it was. Was he against Newcastle? He played in the cup, didn't he? He was overlapping the winger. He was creating the width, creating the extra body going forward. And today I feel he was just too deep. And I think Traore was getting past him. He did really well against Salah at Liverpool, but he struggled against the physicality of Traore for me today. And I don't rate Traore at all. But he is huge. You can't argue with that. I think he got cooked by Traore. I think he got cooked by him. And he didn't offer us much going forward, if I'm being honest with you. Maybe in the first 5-ish minutes or so. But I mean, it's hard to say because Traore is a goddamn unit. But I'm calling it as I see it. He's got to be able to withstand that challenge. Got to be able to withstand it. So I'm going to give him 5 out of 10. Nothing more, nothing less. Traore had his number from kickoff. Jake then says Traore did nothing. I love that everyone contradicts. Traore had too much oil on him. I actually agree. I think Traore had his number. Kitty giving him a 0. Jolly giving him a 5. Let's see what you guys gave him collectively. A 4.8. I don't think that's far off the mark, to be honest. Adama is an animal. I do remember, was it against Arsenal back in the day where someone was like, "Ref, if you've seen him, look how he's built." Anyway, now Dominguez didn't play on the right. He played on the left. He's out of position for me. He's out of position. I don't know why Dominguez always gets the short straw. I don't know why Dominguez always, when he gets a start, has to play out of position. And then if he plays in his position, it's because he's come on as a sub. Commentary on TV said their pen was contact, ours was minimal. How can a guy look at the screen deciding how heavy the contact was? I don't know. I feel sorry for Dominguez. I feel he gets a little scapegoated, to be honest. And he was playing on the left today. Anderson was on right. This graphic's the wrong way around, so apologies. But like, if you judge him on how he played, I don't think he had a great game. I don't think he had a great game. I didn't see that pressing from him. He's an 8 for me. He's an 8 or he's a pressing 10. Like, what would I give him? And then he got subbed off, didn't he? What time did he get hooked? 57 minutes. So even when he starts, he can't get a full game. I give him a 5 out of 10. I'm just going to take slightly into account he's played out of position. So I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Let's see what you guys did. 4.3. It's up to you. Yes, Lux. Lux is in the chat. Hope you enjoyed that Cooper ball. Took you to the edge, man. And then didn't give you that final stroke to finish you off, mate. Poor guy, poor guy. All right, you guys gone 4.3 for Dominguez. Fine. I don't really care, so I'm still annoyed. Whatever. Let's go on to Yates. I thought Yates was okay today. I thought Yates was okay. He picked up a stupid yellow card, as he always does. That challenge in for the yellow card was stupid. He was so far away from the play and he didn't have to dive in. But on the flip side, he won some free kicks. The ref was buying how easy it was for him to go down. I think he was probably one of the better players on the pitch. And to be honest, that standard is not high. I think I could have just turned up and I could have got myself a 6. So, look, it was okay. Does he offer anything going forward? Not really. Does he break the play up? Yes. I don't rate him as a player, but if I judge him on what he did today, he was decently average. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. I thought he was okay. Jessica saying no one deserves more than a 3. 6 says Chaka. Simon giving him a 0. How's Cooper ball? Yeah, in it. Your channel is good. Shout out to Blue Tinted Glasses. It's lovely to watch him lose his crap over Cooper. So I'll give Yates a 6 out of 10. Let's see what you guys did. 4.49. Okay, so you guys didn't enjoy it. I agree. I agree, Ryan. Yates shouldn't start. I fully agree. But he started, so I'll judge him on his performance. And I thought it was average, a solid 6. I say 6 is average. He gets average, a par performance. Amit says, get those likes off. Get Wolfie up, up, up. Nothing's getting me up today, mate, after that crappy performance. You guys gone 4.49 on him. Ward-Prowse. Ward-Prowse was a ghost for me today. Ward-Prowse was a bit of a freuler, I have to say. I didn't think he had a good game. The only time I noticed him was when he was taking dead balls. Outside of that, honestly, what did he do? What did he do? I'm actually going to give him a 3. I didn't think he had a good game. I've got not much to tell you guys about Ward-Prowse because I didn't notice him, apart from when he was taking corners. I thought he had a poor game. And I think after that Liverpool game, I'm now starting to question, does he need to start? Are we just starting him for dead balls? Because if we are, just play Sosa. Sosa, I think, can take a good dead ball. But yeah, I agree. He didn't play well, Simon, last week either. So I probably would look to drop him into the Chelsea game, if I'm being honest with you. And is he Is he now becoming a luxury player? I don't know. I don't know. Are we starting to see the Ward-Prowse that the West Ham fans were seeing? Is he being played out of position? Lots of questions there. Let's see what you guys said. You went higher with a 4. I mean, if you noticed him, fair play to you, but I didn't notice him. I didn't notice him. 4. He was off the Richter scale for me against Liverpool, but against Brighton, I thought he wasn't great, and today, not good at all. So 4, I gave him a 3, whatever. And then Anderson. I don't know about Anderson. Someone said this in the comments early in the watch along, and I do tend to agree with it. Let me just bring up, where is Mr. Anderson? Someone said in the watch along earlier, without Sangare, he's not being released to play in that progressive 8 position. And I actually agree with that. Now, I'm not going to go on about my boy Sangare, but we are missing a 6. We don't have a 6 in the squad at all at the moment. I think he played okay, but he looks better when he's released to go into the 8 position. But is he above a 5? No, for me. No, I don't think anyone in the midfield had a cracking game. I'd say Yates was probably our best midfielder today. So I'm going to give him a 5. And I do worry going forward that Nuno's going to struggle with this balance. Yates and Ward-Prowse are not the starting middle 2. Again, is he being played in position? He got played on the right-hand side. I don't understand why he started on the right-hand side, where if you're going to play him as a winger, he's more natural on the left side. Now, I thought for a minute, okay, play him on the right side so he can cut in and shoot on his left foot. We saw none of that. So you may as well play him on his stronger side, the left, knowing that Dominguez can play on the right-hand side. So he's a 5 for me. He's a 5 for me. See what you guys did. 4.6. Not far off. I'll agree. We got 350 of you in here and 86 likes. Do us a quick favor. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button. Make sure you go check out MECARREIRA, because Morgan Gibbs-White is about to go on the market in 39 minutes. You can get investing in him while his stock price will be really low. And then obviously and hopefully it will go high and we can make some money if that goes upwards. So make sure you check it out at MECARREIRA. Okay, let's move on from him and let's talk about Chris Wood. Guys, what did you think of Chris Wood? I'm still not convinced on Chris Wood. He's not scoring. What else did he do today? What else did he do? He won the ball a couple of times. Look, if you're going to play this formation, I would have said that you had to almost play Chris Wood in the Teddy Sheringham role, in that 10 position, a striker who drops in a little bit, win it, and then look to play Taiwo in. I didn't see that from him today. He maybe won the ball once or twice. Okay, he was unlucky to be offside on his goal. It was very marginal. But outside of that, I didn't notice him. I didn't notice him. Now, I'm sure a lot of people say, well, what do you expect? He didn't get the supply. He had to come deep to fish for the ball and look for the ball. But he's doing that every game. He's doing that every game. I thought Taiwo had an impact on the game. We'll get on to him in a minute. No arguments from Jessica. That's what I love about Jessica. She can be objective. I just don't... One, I don't get why he started both of them. And secondly, Taiwo was the one who was pulled off. I would have taken Wood off for me. I don't think he had a good game. He's a 4 for me. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Waste of an effing shirt, says Scottish Forest guy. Needs to play to Wood's strengths, says Enigma. I knew someone would come up with that comment. He should not drop deep, says Keith. Can't stick the guy. He's lazy as F and always out of position. 2 strikers are stupid. Tommy saying unacceptable. Wood is being carried. Finishing is great, but offers nothing in the build-up. That I agree with. You fickle, some of you, says Jace. I've given him a 4. Let's see, according to Jace, what you fickle lot have said. 3.9 from you guys. I wouldn't... Yeah, I agree. He's not lazy. He's not quick, is he? He's not quick. Taiwo had more touches and he came off at halftime. I was surprised at that. I mean, I'll look forward to hearing what Nuno has to say about it, but I thought Taiwo was more impactful. He was roughing up the defenders a bit more, and I thought he had more of an impact. Okay, the next sub was Elanga, and I don't understand what the hell Nuno was doing with this substitution. And I was annoyed with Nuno about it. Not that he brought Elanga on, but he brings him on as a 10. Elanga is many things, but he is not a 10. He's not a false 9. He's a winger. Straight up and simple. I get it. He's right-sided winger. You can play him on the left. He is not a middle player. His best attribute is his pace. And then he goes down the middle. And then literally, 10 minutes later, it gets changed anyway and put on a winger. So why is he being played down the middle? This isn't directed at Elanga. This criticism is directed at Nuno. Why did you start him in the 10? It literally makes no sense. If you were going to do that, you'd have been better off putting Anderson in the 10. Or even bloody Ward-Prowse or something. I didn't get that. And then 5 minutes later, he shipped him off to the right-hand side. And then when he went on the right-hand side, that football IQ level is getting lower, man. He got him behind. He does the good thing, gets him behind. Does he look up? No. He plays a blind ball across the box when Jota is completely free on the penalty spot for potentially an easy chance. So that just annoyed me in itself. Outside of that, did Elanga offer much? The answer is no. So he's a 5, but he was a sub, so he's a 4 for me. The 4 out of 10. I just don't get it. I don't think he's good enough. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he's good enough. Impact sub, yes, but not at half time. 20 minutes to go. Bring him in. Bring it in. Before then, it's just too early. Let's see what you guys did. You guys went about the same as well. 4.1. Hey, you lot remembered the sub rule. Well done, you lot. Well done. Well done. Elanga was frustratingly good. Now he's just frustrating, says Shanghai Noon. I do tend to agree. Has he got a goal or an assist this season, Chad? I can't remember off the top of my head. He must have, surely. He must have. Okay, after Elanga was Jota Silva. Okay. Little Desire had one pot shot, which he hit straight at the keeper. Assist at Liverpool. Oh, yeah, he did, didn't he? Good shout. Good shout. Look, I don't think Jota was as good as he was in previous games. But what I will say is, I agree with what Jake just said. He needs to start. He's got a little bite and a little energy about him. And he gets around the pitch. And I think he would actually press. Something that's starting to frustrate me is our lack of press from the front line. It's only Morgan Gibbs-White, it's only Jota, and it's only Taiwo that press. And that's the frustrating thing for me. So start these guys that were Sosa as well. He's a bit of a presser. I think he was okay. I don't think he was very impactful. If that shot had gone in, it'd be like a 10. I'm going to give him a 5. I'll give him a 5 out of 10 for me today. To be fair, Cho has a lot to do, but technically, Chemo Greenish to Stuart, harsh. Taiwo, you mean Chris Wood? No, Chris Wood does not press. Taiwo does press. All right, let's see what you guys went. You guys went 4.7, a little lower. Agendas. Blimey, soon knocking Nuno, only one nos. I'm not knocking anyone. I'm calling the game as I saw it. That's all I'm doing. No, luck he'd be gassed at 50 minutes. He probably would, Keith, because he doesn't get more than 50 minutes, does he? Okay, so he was the first sub. The second sub. The next one was Callum Hudson-Odoi. He felt like he was going to make an impact, but Callum Hudson-Odoi didn't. He missed that chance, which I would class as quote-unquote easy by his standards. And I was like at least hoping it deflected over for a corner. No, apparently it went out for a goal kick. So I don't think he was that impactful. He smelt like he was going to threaten at being impactful. But did he really change the game? He didn't really link up with Moreno. And then when Nico Williams came on, wow, he was woeful. But anyway, yeah, Jonathan, he played him as a 10. I know. But yeah, Charles surprisingly was not cutting inside as much today, rather crossing in. I saw him do both, mate, to be honest. I saw him do both. I don't know. I'm going to give him a 5. I can't be too harsh on Callum Hudson-Odoi, but 5. Maybe I'm putting some Chow goggles on. Let's see what you guys said. 4.5 for Hudson-Odoi. I think that's okay and fair from you guys. And then Sosa was on next. I don't really think he impacted at all, guys, to be honest. I don't know why he wasn't on the set pieces once Ward-Prowse came off. He came on for Ward-Prowse, didn't he? I thought he out on the right-hand side, he looks a little bit lost. Didn't really get too involved in the game. He got, what, 15 minutes on the pitch? 4 for me. 4. I ain't got too much to say about him. Again, he's probably someone who needs more game time. You guys went 3.93. Nuno trying to be clever with his mate Marco Silva, says Jonathan. 2 from Smidge. Bloody hell, that's harsh. Nuno's weak in the midfield. Mangala was class. Did Everton win, by the way? Oh, did they win in the end? I need to check the scores. Okay, and then the last one on was Nico Williams before we get into Nuno. Who was it? Who did I just say? Nico Williams. There he is. I thought he was rubbish. I thought he was rubbish when he came on. Wait, can you hear me? What happened to your mic? Stream gone weird. What? Can you guys hear me? Mic check. Your mic is dead. Mic is dead. What do you mean my mic is dead? I've gone robotic. VAR targeting it. Is that okay now? Is that okay now? Okay. Okay. Is it because I cussed down Nico Williams and said he was rubbish? Wait. Yeah. Why your end? Can you not hear me or not? Sounds all crap. Am I good or not? Crackly. Hold on. Let me. I don't know. Is that better? Some of you saying yes, some of you saying no. It's crackly. All right, what if I do? Is that better? If I do that, is that better? Let me pull it out and then on. We good? We good? All good now. Okay. I don't know what happened there. All I said was I thought Nico Williams was quite crap when he came on. Got bullied off the ball a couple of times. Played on the left-hand side. I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm giving him a 4 out of 10. I just don't rate him. I really don't rate him. Let's see what you guys did. 3.9. Okay. Let's talk about the main one we need to talk about, which is Nuno. I can't wait to see what you guys rated Nuno. I really can't. Look, Nuno's gone, no doubt he's gone from a 10 against Liverpool to a low score today. But let's just break down what he got right and wrong. Can hear me, yeah? Oh my God, there's a lot of zeros in the chat from you guys. Look, the formation was wrong. Starting lineup selection was wrong. The tactics were wrong. I'll go a step further and say I didn't like the substitutions. I didn't like the substitutions. I wouldn't go that far, Amit, but okay. I can't really say there was too much positive about most of the stuff he did today. Might but just be a. Can you guys hear me or not? Oh, we didn't do Taiwo, did we? Well, all right, we'll do Taiwo in a second. Can you guys hear me okay or not? Yes, there is a goal tomorrow, Jessica. Are you guys actually serious? Testing. Still crackling. Why would it be? Sound like a Dalek. All right. It looks fine. I'm not seeing what's going on. All right, let's just go on to Nuno, and I'm gonna give him a 3. I don't think he had a good game at all. All right, somebody's saying you can and can't. I'm just gonna carry on. Loose connection. Okay, I'm gonna say 3 out of 10. Team selection wrong, players wrong, most of it wrong today. 3 out of 10. I've praised him. He subbed the mic. I've praised him when he's done good. You sound fine to me, Nuno. 0 says Ant. Shout out to Ant. Much love. Good to see Ant back in the chat. And hopefully he'll be back on Gore tomorrow. With those angry emojis, I can only think he's not very pleased. The mic's not perfect, but you're understandable. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to give him a 3. Let's see what you guys did. 3.2. To be honest, I'd probably say that's still too high. He got a lot wrong. What's the 3 for? I don't know, mate. Honestly, Steve, as I'm looking at it now, I don't think there's too much to praise him on today, unfortunately. Okay, we forgot to do Taiwo. So let me just bring up your Taiwo scores. I would have given Taiwo a solid 6 out of 10. For me, I thought he was good in the first half. I don't want to talk too much because the mic, you guys went at 5.2. But I thought Taiwo was good. It's clipping occasionally. Okay, right. I'll tell you what. That's covered all the players. Man of the match, I don't know, Milenkovic. Let's just call it there where I go sort my mic issues out. So, all right, we've got Grumpy Old Reds coming on tomorrow night. We'll have a match review and there'll be a review on Patreon as well. So look out for that. Make sure if you're not a Patreon member, make sure you go check it out. And yeah, I'll just call it there because the mic's doing some weird mic stuff. So probably infected from the Forest performance. I'll see you guys tomorrow. What time will Gore be? Probably about 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock tomorrow. If you haven't already, please don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV. Forest are no longer undefeated. We'll see you tomorrow. Come on, you Reds.